YouTube! How's it going? Dylan here, and it's time for another Nerd Talk podcast.
These things that you rarely ever do.
There's enough of them. It's me and Wyatt today, guys.
Your one and only friend.
You're right, I only have one. No one else loves me.
Nope.
You're the only one.
Yep. That's how it normally goes.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Daredevil Season 2. We're a little late, but, you know.
There was the holidays, and then there's work, and then there was that other thing that came out that we'll probably talk about later.
The Batman v Superman.
Then there's that thing we did the other day that we'll talk about later. I just feel like we should talk in general about the things that have come up, because we'll probably talk about them later.
Yeah, well, we're going to start with Daredevil Season 2.
We're going to work our way to the future. Present day. Let's start with this. This came out, I think, March 18th or 17th is when it hit on Netflix.
Friday, so it was the 18th.
Yeah, so it's the Friday before Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
And it's also the week that Zootopia came out.
Which is a good movie. Just saying. Zootopia was a good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I'm saying there's not a lot of... When this came out, there wasn't a lot of adult movies out, so I think a lot of people had a chance to binge watch it. It's like, oh, we'll send the kids to the movies for the day, and they can watch Zootopia
and we'll sit
and
home
whatever
and watch
other
Daredevil.
kid movies out, and we'll try to binge watch Daredevil for a little bit, and then when we come back...
Friday, I got through 3 episodes? I finished it in the weekend. I think I was like 3 or 4 episodes each day.
I am trying to remember. Did it come? Is that a Friday? I think you're right. It is a Friday.
It dropped on a Friday.
I think I watched most of it Saturday and Sunday, the 19th and the 20th, and then I didn't finish the last 3 episodes until Thursday of last week. Because that's when I had off again.
So the day after we saw Batman v Superman, or no, the day
we watched Batman v Superman. Yeah, I finished Daredevil.
Gotcha. Okay. So
I think we should just do a brief overview of.
There was a lot of things that happened in this season.
Of what was expected of the season before we actually talk about the season. So, last season ends with Fisk in jail, and everything seems right in the world of Nelson
brighter.
and Murdoch. They're doing pretty good. At the end, you see all the clients that they have.
Yeah.
And then, as a build-up to this, the promos heavily showed the Punisher, which we know is played by John Bernthal of Walking Dead fame. And then we have Elektra, who was also hinted at heavily in the build-up to the season, and she is played by, and I know I'm going to mispronounce her name. It is Udi Young? It looks like Eddie, but it's not Eddie.
Elodie?
Elodie?
I don't know. Elodie.
Yeah. I'm not good with names. And people may know her from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and G.I. Joe are her most recent things.
Who is she in G.I. Joe?
Let's find out.
Which G.I. Joe?
It's the Rock G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay. The one I didn't see.
The not good one. Or I guess the good one. She's Jinx in that.
Okay. Well, neither one of those movies are really that great. So.
No, not really. I believe she's not the girl with the dragon tattoo. She's just another like side character in the girl with the dragon tattoo. So she's briefly in that, but just we're looking at IMDb for that.
We are not encyclopedias.
No, maybe. Who knows? They don't know. There's no video for this. So.
Well, they have video proof that you are a fat man and I am an ugly white kid.
Am I fat? That was over a year ago. Think about it.
He's still fat.
Anyway, so the build up to the season is that we are going to get finally 2 big characters in the Daredevil universe, which is Elektra, his on-again, off-again love interest, and his, what I would say is pretty much his direct opposite, the Punisher.
I mean, in terms of philosophy of being a superhero, yeah.
Yeah. So, Elektra's a little bit of that, but she's more of... she's heavily a love interest in the books. And everything most people know. She's the love interest.
They hint at her in season 1 of her being an ex-girlfriend.
Yes. Only reference, though.
Yeah, not by name, but...
Not by name. She's the one who is the reason why Matt knows French, I believe.
Yes?
Yeah, it's French.
I thought he took French and then they started talking French
yeah,
to
but
each other.
he took French because of her.
Mm. So
we're coming into this pretty much. Season 1 has ended. It's been, let's say,
we posted the review of season 1 11 months ago.
But I'm trying to think of when this takes place in the universe, because clearly time has passed since season 1, but I don't know if the events of the Avengers have happened.
Yeah, this one is a lot less. This season doesn't reference the outside Marvel universe nearly as much.
I think it references what we're going to call the Netflix universe a lot.
More, yeah.
A lot more. And it's hinted at a lot more of what's going to happen next year. But we don't have the events in Age of Ultron happen.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know. It's not hinted at. And I think the big reason why we don't know is because we don't have Ben in the season. I think Ben's office was a lot of hints for that. You know what I mean? Because when you go into Ben's office, you see
the Harlem incident. The attack on New York.
Yeah.
But this one, it doesn't lay itself in the Marvel universe that much. It happens after Jessica Jones.
Right. Kind of.
Yes. It happens after Jessica Jones.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I didn't watch Jessica Jones.
No, so. This season happens after Jessica Jones. So.
Well, where did Jessica Jones end?
I mean, like,
because
Jessica Jones, Jessica Jones, in a timeline sense, it goes Daredevil season 1, Jessica Jones, Daredevil season 2.
Are we sure though? Because
when Jessica Jones is referenced and Hogarth is referenced, it's in direct reference to what happened in Jessica Jones,
or what's happening with
happened. Because Hogarth wouldn't be in trouble and in need of another lawyer if the things in Jessica Jones hadn't happened already.
Gotcha. I just said because I know she came out around Christmas. And this ends around Christmas time, so I don't know.
I think this season lasts like a whole year or something like that.
Yeah,
like it or at least 6 months.
Yeah, it's clearly something's up. But yeah. So we know what we're getting into. We know that there's going to be some big shift in the underground because Fisk is gone. Leland has gone underground. They're looking for Leland.
Owsley?
Yeah.
He's dead.
They don't know he's dead.
Fisk kills him.
Right, but they don't know he's dead.
They're looking for him.
What do you mean? That's one of the reasons why they use the guy, is that they want Leland.
I thought they were using him to get Punisher.
They use him as bait for the Punisher, yes, but they originally tell him they want Leland. They don't know Leland's dead.
Oh, I missed that.
That was the whole point, is that they use Grotto to get Leland.
I thought they were after the Punisher the whole time.
No, because they tell Nelson that they want Leland. Which is odd because you would think that they would know he's dead, but they don't.
Or they do, and that was a lie. Because
Yeah.
I mean, that whole thing was a cover-up for a cover-up for a cover-up.
Very true. Very, very true.
This season gets unnecessarily, like, kind of complicated for no reason.
Like, I feel like this season would have been really good if we had Ben still in this, because in the last season, Ben was the guy who was putting the pieces together, and he was kind of like the everyman in this.
And he was good at it.
He was good at it.
Unlike what they're trying to do with Karen Page.
I like her.
I like her too. And, like, I thought it was cool that she pretty much took Ben's place in this season, but she's not as good.
Like, I liked her and... I'm trying to think of what the editor's name is.
I don't know.
Mitchell. Mitchell Elson is the name of the character.
That guy fucks me up because he looks like my DM in Dungeons and Dragons.
But I liked their kind of bond, and like it kind of felt like what she kind of had with Ben. Like it was this father-daughter relationship.
It seemed like that guy felt really bad and sort of responsible for Ben's death.
I think that's kind of what brings them together, is that they both are involved in the death of Ben. And one of the reasons why he meets his end in season 1.
Right.
So that storyline's pretty good. Which, you know, kind of adds some clarity and levity to what has happened and kind of reveals more backstory instead of getting flashbacks like we've seen, which I thought was actually really shocking.
I feel like this season the flashbacks were like centered on Daredevil and Elektra.
They were. So we don't get any flashbacks till episode 5. 5 is when we get the first flashback. Shockingly.
Really?
Yeah. Episode 5. Because episode 4 ends with Elektra in the apartment.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Spoiler! Oh wait, I guess that doesn't matter because we're doing a review. So.
Yeah, we're doing it. I mean, we're 12 minutes in. We've spoiled some stuff already, so...
Nah, kind of. Not really.
But I'll put, a spoiler thing
warning on the thing.
Actually, on the video.
You know how people get.
I'll leave it up for the whole thing.
But overall, I feel like this season was still good and violent.
Oh, it's
dark.
no doubt good. I didn't
that...
like it as much as season 1. And I think it's because of the complicatedness behind Punisher's backstory.
See, and that's why I liked it more than season 1. Is because we get a little complicated. And we're not going for over the top violence. Like in this season, don't get me wrong, it's violent. There's tons of violence. But we're not seeing a guy get decapitated with a door again. There's not
no
that.
No one gets decapitated in this season.
I know, which shocked me a lot.
Disappointed.
Very heavily so, because every time they refer to the Punisher, they also refer to New York as a war zone. Constantly.
Yeah, Warzone. You could almost play a drinking game with how many times they say Warzone.
It is, and the fucked up thing is with the Punisher being in it, I was thinking, when are we gonna see him jump on a table and snap some guy's neck off?
Referencing
in reference to the better of the two movies.
I don't think so.
You can be wrong.
I'm not saying Warzone was a bad movie. I just don't think it was acted as well as the
You're
other
wrong,
one.
and you can sit there and you can be wrong. But yeah, it's definitely odd that they kept doing that. Like it felt forced. It didn't feel natural.
The Punisher's turning this place into a
war zone. Dun dun dun.
It was always kind of like that too.
Yeah. The other thing is, I don't like the fact where they get these names from. They refer to Daredevil as Daredevil, but in season 1,
nowhere, no one calls him Daredevil in season 1, and then like this season, people are like calling him Daredevil, and it's like, who coined that? Who started calling him? In season
1, he's referred to as the Mask, and in the last episode, he is referred to as the Devil of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Not referred to as Daredevil. They're like, oh, we're gonna call him Daredevil, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like, And Daredevil's running around doing this. Well, who the fuck named him that?
Yeah. I think what happened is they got Cisco from The Flash and came up with the name.
This guy's running around rooftops and making large leaps. Some sort of Daredevil.
But yeah, and then with the Punisher, they like just randomly come up with the name Punisher.
I mean, that one felt more...
It felt more natural.
That one felt more natural, and it wasn't just... That one was not as out of nowhere, because it's like, the public is calling him the Punisher or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he's just like killing... He murdered, what, like 3 crime factions?
It's...
The Irish,
the
cartel, and the Dogs of Hell.
Yeah, the Dogs of Hell.
Well, he didn't...
He did.
He didn't kill them all, though.
Eh?
He started a fight, and Daredevil finished it without killing anyone.
Did he? Did he, though? I'm pretty sure a few of those guys are dead. It's like the whole Batman situation. He doesn't kill people. He kind of killed some people.
Oh, I mean, we're not talking about Batman v Superman, where he just straight murders people.
Yeah, but I mean, even before that, people were like, oh, he doesn't kill people. He just like drops him to the roof in the trash can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy's dead.
That guy was probably okay.
The thing I did like a lot more about the fights of the season is the fact that we got a little bit more of that martial arts kind of, multiple strikes, especially with the batons, as I call them. I don't know. I wouldn't call that. It's not his billy club.
His early...
It's like the 2 sticks that him and Stick use. The clubs.
They're
like batons. That's what they look like.
Yeah, because they're not tonfas, because tonfas have the stick that you hold on to.
Yeah. I don't know. But you see him use those, and he bounces them around a lot more this season.
He bounced it like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, Captain America?
Yeah, literally. He went, dun 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 dun. Which I thought was cool, though.
He hit like 2 dudes in that process, too.
Yeah.
It was cool, but it was like very
We also get a lot more of the hallway shot.
Oh
stuff.
Yeah, it was like, episode 2, right?
But not even episode 2. Even in these other episodes, we get a lot more of the let's have the camera stay still or move it and have it be one continuous shot in a fight, as compared to let's cut this up. Because even in the first episode with the shootout, it's one continuous camera shot, or at least they make it look that way.
Around the table as all those guys are getting slaughtered.
Right, yeah. It doesn't really cut until we jump to behind the bar. And even then, I would say it's a soft cut. It's not a hard cut. Like, it cuts just to a different angle and the camera pans and you see the guy behind the bar.
Yeah, still alive. Grotto. But episode 2 is where Punisher attacks the Dogs of Hell, right?
Yes.
And then they have the down the apartment building fight. That's one that feels it makes it feel like it's supposed to be one long shot, parallel to episode 2 of the first season where they have that hallway shot.
Yeah. No, that's episode 3.
Episode 3?
Yeah, episode 3 is when him and Daredevil fight the
Punisher and Daredevil,
they fight the
Yeah.
Episode 2 is where they use him as bait.
Gotcha.
They use Grotto as bait.
Yeah, and then at the end of episode 2, Daredevil gets captured.
Right.
By the Punisher. And then they have what's ripped, a conversation that is ripped literally from an issue of Daredevil.
Is it?
Yeah. Where that whole scene with the Punisher about to shoot someone and Daredevil can save the person by killing the Punisher. That is, I don't know what issue, but I've seen the
I'm sure that is, but one of the quotes that was used heavily in the marketing and is in that scene is the Punisher says a quote from the Killing Joke, I believe. And it's the whole thing it is with the Joker in that is that Gordon and Batman are just one bad day away from being the Joker. And the Punisher says that. He tells Red, as he's referred to,
yeah,
by
he
the
calls
Punisher.
Daredevil Red.
He's
like that.
one bad day away from being the Punisher.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So-
He did say that.
Yeah. So it's very cool that they're like, hinting at this and kind of explaining the two sides of this coin that we have, the Punisher and Daredevil. The other thing that's cool is that we're seeing more of the gangs. We're not seeing pieces of them. We're seeing a lot more of these.
Well, I mean, they're all dead now, so. Other than the Dogs of Hell, but they're all fucked up, so. Like,
Right.
the Punisher slaughtered all the Irish in a shootout at the very beginning.
Not really though, because he shoots
shoots a good portion of that.
Then we have, because in the next episodes we get
Vincent Van Gogh shows up.
Yeah.
That really fucked me up. The guy that plays Vincent Van Gogh in Doctor Who, season 7, for Vincent and the Doctor, is this crime boss.
Yeah, I don't know if they gave him a name.
He had an actual name, and I think he was an actual comic book character, but he's not in it very long. It's like he's in it for like 2 episodes. But it just really fucked me up that like he was playing a bad guy, and I'm like I couldn't take him seriously as a bad guy.
Really? You couldn't take him seriously as a bad guy?
No.
See, the thing that I kept thinking about was that I trying to remember if a lot of those guys reminded me of characters from the IRA and Sons of Anarchy. That's what it reminded me of. It's like, oh, they're kind of, trying to do, make these guys look like the IRA in Sons of Anarchy. But that's just my opinion. Let's see. I think
He's not that far down, I didn't think.
I don't know. I'm just looking to see if they had different names. He is far down because he's not in that many episodes.
Yeah, he's in 2 episodes, so.
Yeah, so he's not going to be in the top couple. He'll be down closer to the bottom on IMDb if you guys want to look him up. I'm not worried about it. I'm just scrolling through to see if anything jumps out with the casting. I know a lot of people complained in the beginning that they didn't like the idea of
Oh, he was Finn.
Finn.
Finn was his name.
Gotcha.
And he was in 1 episode. My bad.
I guess technically he was a guest star. And sometimes guest stars don't get full episode credits. It's weird how that works.
Well, he showed up, murdered one of his own guys, and then was like, we're gonna kill the Punisher. Captures the Punisher, and then threatens the Punisher's dog,
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
and then gets killed. Well, like, Punisher steals a fight dog that was at the shootout after a dog fight. Max? Was his name Max?
I think so. I think that's what the dog's name is. But I think the reason why we see that is because it shows his soft side. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's not gonna.
That's the first, like, soft side that you see of him
That's
up until,
the-
like, the court case when you start finding out things about his family.
Yeah, that's like the only little soft side that we get. And we're like, oh, he's not a monster. He's terrible.
But I'm pretty sure they killed that dog anyways because you don't see him for the rest of the season.
I don't know.
And he's never mentioned again.
I don't know. We never see them kill the dog.
We don't see him kill the dog, but I'm pretty sure they just killed the dog. Or they let him go and the Punisher never decided to go after him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Until,
I did
like,
like some of the hints that we got at other comic book things. Like I know one of the big arcs in Punisher is Finn's money.
yeah, and then he, like, blows up the money when the guys get there. That was so funny.
Well, he doesn't
I
blow
knew
it.
it.
They blow themselves up. But in the
Because they
books,
trip a bomb, but, like, I knew that was gonna happen.
yeah, but in the books, I think that's like a big story arc where a bunch of gangs are after the Punisher because they're trying to get this money.
And then they capture him, and then he tells them where the money is, and then
Yeah.
he blew Finn's face off.
Yeah, with the shotgun.
Oh yeah. It was rough. He had no face.
So, and then that leads into...
That was the first Daredevil Punisher team up. Because Matt saves him.
Yeah. And then that kind of ends arc 1. That was...
Because they capture... Because that's when they arrest Punisher.
This is what I liked about this season as compared to season 1. There's arcs. It's not one giant... There's one giant arc, and then there's smaller, like, bite-sized arcs. Whereas season 1, it felt like we had some small stuff going on, but there was only that one progression in that one big arc. It wasn't a bunch of little arcs that built up, added together, made a giant arc. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, like, I think the Punishers got unnecessarily complicated.
Really?
Yeah, because, like, his family, the story is his family sees a mob hit and then gets killed, and they try to kill him too because they saw the mob hit. And this, we'll just go through the Punisher part stuff here. So he goes to court. Clancy Brown is in this as the same character he is in, like, everything, a military man.
Yeah, Sergeant. Marine.
Who lost his hand in this Afghanistan?
Afghanistan.
Raid or something like that. They were trying to kill some insurgents. It didn't go well. It didn't go right, and then Frank ended up killing everyone.
Yeah, Frank is the reason why they got to evac.
And saved, like, his whole...
Saved everyone. Which gives him, you know, kind of a better backstory than what he's had. I'm trying to remember...
Like, I liked that part. I liked the part about, like, he's a really confident soldier. And, it shows that, like, yeah, this guy probably can slaughter a bunch of gangs if he's able to slaughter a bunch of terrorists.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense because, you know, he's a...
And, like, you find out Karen Page breaks into his house.
But hang on. Before we leave about the children's thing, you're wrong. It's only in the first movie do they witness a mob hit and then the mob tries to kill him and his family.
No, but that's the Punisher's actual... Like, that's his origin.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. They get killed in a shootout in Central Park, which is what happens...
Which is a mob hit.
Right, but they get killed then and there.
Yeah.
It's not later. You made it seem like it was later.
No. That's not what I was
this
saying.
This kind of fits that it's a, you know, it's an updated story. The Punisher, when he came out, you know, the mob was still like a thing. And here the mob is not a thing. We don't have the mob.
We have a bunch of sub-mobs.
Yeah, you have a bunch of gangs.
The Irish were working like a mob.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Because they were very family and...
That's because it's Irish. You know, it's not like everything else where you have to be something else. But you know, I like that compared to the other stories we've had.
Oh yeah, but but there's like, if it was only that simple where his family gets slaughtered in a shootout, that's fine. But then there's like 3 other layers to that make it unnecessary. So
no, I don't think they made it unnecessary. I think
it made it needlessly complicated. So Karen Page...
You think it made it needlessly complicated.
We'll get into it in a second. Karen Page, like, breaks into his house, and you find out that Frank hasn't been back to his house since his family got killed.
Yeah, it's implied that he hasn't been back.
No, he says, she asks him.
Yeah.
She goes, "You haven't been back," and he goes, "Not since they were killed."
Yeah.
And, like, she finds a bunch of stuff and, like, sees him getting, like, something, like, just below a Purple Heart.
Yeah, it's like the Medal of Honor, I think.
Yeah. And, like, Frank's a war hero, but, like, the media doesn't talk about him being a war hero, just how he's a...
Well, I think everything was hush-hush. Hush-hush.
Yeah, because it was a...
Medal.
What they were doing, they never say what they were doing in Afghanistan, just that the story that is told in court by Clancy Brown is that they were killing insurgents.
I think it's... My guess is that they're going to tie this back to Iron Man. If they wanted to, they could tie it back to Iron Man.
They could.
So, just saying, because the story does fit with Iron Man, the first Iron Man.
They were trying to rescue Tony?
Either they're rescuing Tony or they're with
I don't think they were with.
No, I'm not saying they're with, but they're in that same area and they're around. They hear these things go off. Their tank gets shot because Clancy's character, who is, I constantly want to say Thunderbolt, but he's not Thunderbolt.
No, he would have been a much better.
But they kind of imply that their tank is, or their Humvee is blown up, and that's how he loses his hand. So I mean, it could be that they're trying to rescue Tony, or that they're just in the same situation as Tony. And Frank, instead of getting captured and taken to work for the terrorist,
End up killing them all.
Yeah, ends up killing them all.
And getting an evac for his squad.
Yeah, something like that. It's definitely not SEAL Team 6 stuff, but it's kind of, my guess is it's gonna have something to do with that.
Yeah, it's gotta be something like that's top secret hush stuff.
Shush.
Because and then Franklin and Murdoch take the case against Foggy's better judgment.
Definitely.
Foggy doesn't want to take it at all, and Matt's like, we have to. And
Well,
why?
The big reason why he doesn't want to take it is because they're already in shit with the DA, because the DA tried to use their client as bait and doesn't like the fact that they were representing a bad guy, even though they were just trying to help this guy out, kind of save his life. And that's why Foggy doesn't want to take it. Because he feels that this is only going to dig us deeper in the hole with the DA, and we're not.
Foggy didn't even want to take Grotto as a client.
No, he didn't.
Foggy didn't want, like, the two clients that they have in this season, Foggy didn't want to take either one of them.
But it makes sense because, they're trying to pay these bills and all this other stuff. Technically, you're wrong. They have 3 clients this season.
Oh, yeah.
3. But, it's complicated. But I really like the trial stuff. I think it was a nice...
Oh, no, the trial stuff was great.
You develop those characters more. And I liked the fact that we kind of had a complicated story with Frank.
Well, the whole time, the DA is dogging Nelson and Murdoch. Matt's, like, never around for anything.
Because at this point, Elektra shows up in the season, and he's busy trying to help her figure out what the Yakuza, they think it's the Yakuza / hand has been doing this entire time.
They don't find out it's the hand until, like, what, episode 6?
Yes, it's when they go to that big event and steal the plans. Is when they realize that
or at least we find out that it's not the Yakuza, it's the hand.
Yeah. No, Stick comes back in that episode, I believe.
No, Stick comes back in the episode where they get jumped by the hand at that dig site.
Right, which is the episode after that, yeah.
And, like, Stick stabs a ninja, like, straight through. Yeah. And then this is Sparta's him down a giant hole.
Into the hole that they've been digging for no reason. It's very odd.
Which it never goes back to that.
Yeah, no.
Never
I think a lot of that had to do with was just to throw him off their tracks. Because it is implied later in the season that the hand has figured out that the Daredevil is blind and has some sort of vision, which we never really get to see again after season 1. We never see his, like, vision.
No, it's like he sees, but he can, like, see things that are on in the view of the fire or whatever. But, like, when he's fighting the hand, he's, like, completely blind against them.
I think a lot of it is there's no sound.
Yeah, but he still, like, he still has vision and he can see shapes of stuff. So you would think if, like, the hand gets in front of him, which a couple of the ninjas do, and he doesn't, like, react, he'd still be able to see that. Unless his mask blocks his eyes.
I think it's also implied that the shot at the beginning affected him in some way.
Does that start affecting him in that fight? Because Frank Castle shoots him in the head.
Early on.
It grazes the front of his mask anyways.
It doesn't graze. It blows up the front of his mask.
No, but his mask doesn't blow up. It's just chipped. And then Melvin Potter, like, fixes it with, like, some hot glue and shit.
I would say it's broke to pieces. It's blown up.
And it's still in one piece.
No, because he has to piece it back together.
No, he just has to, like, fix the crack.
Well, he gets a new mask anyway.
Yeah. Cooler mask because it doesn't really have like the ear things.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what it looks like.
The suit overall gets more red.
Yeah.
I forgot about. I didn't think about that. It becomes more red. No DD though. They start calling him Daredevil randomly, but he doesn't gain the DD.
No.
Unlike the Punisher, who does eventually get his skull based on the X-ray of his own skull.
Is it based on the X-ray?
Yeah, it's based on the X-ray of because like Frank Castle gets shot in the head during the shootout, so they think it's the shot to the head that is making him crazy.
Even though we know it's not. I thought it was just because of the way the vest looked, and he saw a skull.
No, it was his X-ray.
Gotcha.
Like his X-ray is tossed. Like before the Punisher ever dons the skull, his X-ray is tossed around as much as the word Warzone.
Yeah, a lot.
Like the X-ray of his head. Like this is why Frank Castle's crazy because he was shot in the head. And it's like, look at the skull. It's perfectly the Punisher's skull.
Yeah. Well, it's the promo image.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that? I like the fact that these characters aren't going heavy on the logos. I feel like that's
I mean,
nice change of pace.
For Daredevil, it's fine, but like, I feel like the skull defines the Punisher.
See, but I feel like, even though it kind of, it's the symbol of that character, sometimes it gets a little weird. Like, I feel like this was the right blend.
I mean, his was more organic. His was definitely organic.
Yeah. Whereas Warzone, we don't really see any backstory or know why he has a skull painted on him. And it's not just a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's dumb, yes. Here, Dad, this t-shirt will protect you. Thanks, son. That is dumb.
Dumbest thing.
I didn't say that movie was great. I just liked it. I liked more of it than I do
dumb
Warzone.
You're wrong. You can be wrong.
Anyways.
We don't get a ton of little stories this time. I think there's a few shockers. Like, I feel like the first big shock is when we see that Fisk is back in the picture again.
Fisk is running the prison.
Yeah, so we get a little bit more of his story, which is nice. I thought that was a nice touch.
Well, he's running half of the prison.
Yeah. Well, I just thought it was a nice touch that we get to see what's going on and kind of get an update.
Wait, he gets like a whole episode, but that's about it, right?
2, he's in 3. Technically, 2 of them, I guess, are 1 full episode.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's enough. It was enough to touch on that character.
So what happens is the Punisher tanks the court case.
Yeah.
By going from his original not guilty to guilty.
It's not that he changes his plea. It's the fact that he just goes crazy in court. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that he met with Fisk and Fisk
one of Fisk's men
offers him a deal and all this other stuff.
Says like this guy wants to meet
as well as it's Nelson kind of feels that it's because they were trying to push a post-traumatic stress disorder type thing onto him and explain why he did these things.
Although that was really cool when Frank was like, don't do that because it's not fair to the people who are actually going through.
Right. So it's a lot of them trying to figure out, well, how can we do this without actually doing this? But yeah, that was definitely one of the cool things that it's one of the cooler moments they give Frank, I think. Yeah, it's the fact that you can clearly see that he is still rational enough to go, no, that's not right. God damn it, Dylan. Stop telling your computer to make goddamn noises, Dylan.
I don't tell it to do shit.
First of all, you were eating cookies while we're doing this.
You're just mad because you don't have a cookie.
I have cookies in my car, but
You're just mad you don't have a cookie right now.
I'm not eating them while we're trying to record.
I'm hungry, okay? I didn't have breakfast.
That sounds like a personal problem. Well, we're almost done, and then we can go get you food.
I'm gonna go get food after this. Boop. I gotta finish up Daredevil.
So, the trial is going on while Matt and Elektra are infiltrating some corporation that her...
Roxxon, which is a big corporation in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. which
Big
has
evil corporation too.
money in her father's thing, which I'm so glad they did not show her father. Imply who her father was and stuff like that.
Who is her dad? Is he important?
Not really, but in the movie, they show that her father is Whisk. Is Kingpin.
Is it?
Yeah. Her adoptive dad in the movie, I believe, is Kingpin.
Really?
Yeah, because in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, she works for Kingpin.
Huh. I blocked a lot of that movie.
I don't blame you.
And as much as I try, I can't
But
get the image of Ben Affleck and leather out of my head.
Me neither, but that's a good thing.
BVS fixes that though.
But he's not in leather though.
I know. That's why I said it fixes it.
Yeah. She's in there. She comes back. That leads, so you have that and the trial going on at the same time. That all culminates in episode 7, I think.
Somewhere around there.
7 or 8, with Punisher meeting with Fisk, and her and Elektra and Matt finding out that
They steal that ledger.
they steal a ledger, and they find the pit, and they find out that this is the work of the Hand, and that the Hand has not been gone.
And Elektra was stabbed.
That happens in the next episode.
I thought she was stabbed at the end of that episode, and then Stick and just a random henchman of Stick's.
It's implied that these two are his students. One's his driver, and the other one, they're both his drivers. But they're implied that they're his students.
In the IMDb... Oh, no, wait. This season, Stone isn't around, which is weird, because Stone is shown in season 1, but not season 2 at all. Not even mentioned.
Do we need to see Stone, though?
Just Stick and Stone.
After going, well, this season, it's hinted at the Ninja Turtles in the first episode. We don't see the Ninja Turtles at all.
Was it?
I mean, yes and no.
I mean, I know the Ninja Turtles, like, their origin is based around, like, Daredevil.
It's literally, they rip off Daredevil.
Well, no, it's like, the creators of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were like,
This is
so
the
just
IDW series.
what if when Matt Murdock gets blinded, the same stuff that blinds him mutates some turtles?
Yeah. Turn some turtles into teenagers and ninjas.
And they become ninjas too, just like Daredevil.
But then you have Splinter and you have Stick and Splinter. You have
Yeah, you have a parallel.
the
anyways.
hand and foot. Yeah, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot the hand and foot thing.
Hand and foot. But I'm not big on Stone being in it if he doesn't need to be in it. Personally, I feel like Stick.
I feel like they could have just made one of the drivers Stone. Because, like, you barely saw him in the last season.
Yeah, but both drivers die.
Yeah. At the hands of Elektra, at that.
Yeah.
So you find out the Hand's plan is to get the Black Sky, which is the same plan that was in the first season.
Which is the kid?
Which is apparently, a Black Sky is some human with, I guess, an innate ability to just kill people.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
what I got out of it.
It's implied in the first season that the kid that Stick kills with the bow and arrow is a Black Sky.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing maybe that's not the case. It's complicated.
Because you find out that Elektra is the Black Sky.
At the very end of the season, yeah.
And she's like, no. Oh, yeah, and Nobu's alive.
Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to do. That was the next big shock, is that Nobu is alive.
I wasn't that surprised.
I wasn't surprised, but I felt like it was a nice shock.
Because, like,
Twist.
he shows up, fights Daredevil, and when they start fighting, he says something, and I'm like, it's fucking Nobu.
But leading up to this, it's implied that the Hand, that a lot of these guys have died multiple times.
Yeah.
So it's kind of implied that while he might have been dead, he could be back to life. And that's something that we should...
Or that whole catching on fire and falling out the didn't kill him in the first place.
I don't think that at all. And I only think that because of episode, I want to say it's like 10, like it's close to the end, we have a big interaction with Matt and Night Nurse, where
I like them together. That was cool.
We see this, that the Hand's using people pretty much as human drug filters.
Yeah.
Just draining them of all their blood.
But replacing it with a chemical compound that, I guess siphoned through them gives the ability to bring someone back to life.
Yeah, I don't know.
And turn them into slave zombies.
I want to say that they're slaves because Naboo clearly could have been brought back to life and retains his conscience.
Yeah, but like those kids kill for the Hand, so that's why I was saying like they're slave zombies.
I mean, they just feel attached to him. I think that has more to do with the drugs than anything else.
I mean, I wonder because like the way they lined up and stuff, it was very like.
Yeah. So when that happens, they kill one of the.
They kill the. Are you talking about the kids?
No, they kill one in the Hand. She kills one in the Hand. Remember? Because then they're doing the autopsy on him, and he clearly has like the autopsy marks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which is kind of implied there that he's been dead before.
Yeah.
In the fact that somebody has cut him open, and he was dead for a while, and now these things have started to heal, have already healed, and he's back to life.
Yeah. But it wasn't Naboo, it was just a random
Right,
ninja.
because Naboo comes back in the next episode.
Scarred, though. He is scarred.
Yeah, he is scarred, which makes me think that he was dead.
The only other reason I say I don't think that killed him was because in the last episode, they throw him off of a roof, and he falls. And that would kill anybody, but he just gets up.
Ninja skills.
He lands flat on his back.
Ninja skills.
Ninja skills would have been landing on your feet and doing a superhero landing.
Anyway, so there's a big fight. At the same time, Frank has gotten out of prison.
The whole thing is you find out that it turns out where Frank's family got shot was a DA sting to go after this drug peddler named the Blacksmith, who has the most pure heroin ever.
And has after the Hand got out of the heroin game, it's pretty much taken over the heroin game.
Yeah.
And the Hand is trying to find out who he is so that they can kill him.
Like, everyone wants to kill the Blacksmith, but the Blacksmith never shows up anywhere.
Right.
And, like, you also find out then, that's when you find out that the Blacksmith was Clancy Brown's character.
Well, no, you don't find that out until episode 10.
But you find out that it was Clancy Brown's character who was the Blacksmith, who makes it seem like he tried to get Frank.
It is implied that
he tried to get Frank to help. Frank said no. So this is where it gets complicated, because did Clancy Brown do something to get Frank's family to go to Central Park during this DA sting, where the DA didn't decide to clear out the park where people could have gotten hurt, and they did, and then it's never actually explained as to was Clancy Brown trying to get rid of the Punisher.
I think it's a little bit of both. It's one that he wanted the DA to take a hit and kind of be a bad guy for not clearing out the park. And he also wanted to try to eliminate Frank because Frank could end up being a loose end or something that does come back and bites him in the ass.
But it doesn't make it clear, so was it on purpose? Was it happenstance? It doesn't make it clear. And it makes it, like, there's like two layers, because you find out that it was a DA sting that went wrong, but then you also find out that the Punisher's old army captain
had offered him a spot in this,
but was involved in that, and also wanted him.
Well,
dead.
I think we start to get the answers, and this is one of the best moments of the entire season in the entire arc of Punisher, is that he's going to talk. He says, "I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Just don't kill me." And what does the Punisher do? He pulls out the gun and goes, basically, "I don't want to hear your bullshit."
And kills him.
So yeah.
And then he opens that door.
Yeah, the arsenal, which is cool.
Because I guess that was Clancy Brown's shed that they found.
Yeah, it's implied that it's his shed.
And that's where the Punisher gets his flat jacket, his trench coat.
Well, no, he had the trench coat. He had been wearing a trench coat before that.
But that's where he gets the flat jacket.
But he gets the flat jacket, which clearly has like a skull design already on it.
Which he then paints at his own house. He goes back to his own house.
Yeah, he goes back to his own garage and paints it. Because he blows up his house.
Yeah, that's right. After stealing that arsenal that was in the shed of Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And then that kind of leads up to the hand is the only game left.
Yeah.
And...
Oh, and what the Punisher did to the cartel was he hung them up on meat hooks.
We're past that point.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't say what he did to them.
There can be some surprises, Dylan.
No.
Yes.
No surprises.
So yeah. And that leads us to the last 2 episodes. Which essentially they're like episode 10 finishes up the Punisher stuff, right? Until you see him in the last episode. Yes. It ends his arc because he kills his captain and then blows up his house. And
at the same time, like forces Karen to be like, I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Because she was a big champion of his like this entire time.
Yeah, she kind of is trying to convince him in those last moments that he doesn't have to kill his captain.
He doesn't have to
can come back from this.
He doesn't have to be a murderer.
He doesn't have to be what he is.
She's been trying to like see the best in him, and he's just like, there's nothing left.
And that's pretty much when he's like, yeah, I am who I am.
He kills the captain, and then she walks away from him forever.
Yeah.
So then the last 2 episodes are essentially Elektra and Daredevil fighting the Hand.
I'm trying to figure out why the Hand
wants Elektra.
Kids.
Well, it needs the kids, needs the...
And why they tried to kill Hand and Stick. Prior to this, though, Elektra has left. Which was in the opening of season.
Leave.
The opening of 11 is she is attacked by one of Stick's henchmen.
Yeah.
No, I guess it's 10. 10 she's attacked by the henchmen. And they show up at the end of episode 10 to Matt's place she's going to kill him. He runs over there. By the time Matt gets there...
Stick and Elektra are fighting.
No. They are fighting while he's driving. They've been taken by the Hand when he gets there.
No.
Yes.
When he gets there, he tries to stop Stick and Elektra from fighting. Oh yeah, and when Elektra is attacked by Stick's henchmen is when she gets her size.
Yeah.
She steals the size from the henchman that tried to kill her. She shows up to Stick's place, kills the drivers when they're leaving.
Well,
starts fighting Stick. That's when Daredevil shows up and tries to convince them to stop, and then it's when the Hand shows up to kidnap Stick.
Yeah, they do. They kidnap Stick. You're right.
And then Elektra is like, I'm not going to help you because I just want to kill Stick. And Daredevil's like, well, I'm just going to go find him without you then.
And this is when they kind of go back and forth, and we finally get the Billy Club at this point.
Yeah, because...
They go back to Potter, and Potter has the Billy Club.
Makes him a new suit?
No, it's a helmet. He fixed the helmet. He made a new helmet. So that's how we get the helmet redesign. He doesn't redo the suit.
I know, but they go... I thought he got the helmet earlier, but then when they go back to him again, he gives...
Nope, they go back for the new helmet.
Well, Elektra gets an outfit too from Potter.
They go back to get her that material. Yeah. They go back for her costume
and that's when
the
he
mask.
Gets the Billy Club.
And that's when he gets the Billy Club. Because he also hands him a new mask. Because prior to that, he's wearing the one that's cracked.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he said it would take him a few weeks to get a new mask made.
Yeah.
And resculpted and remold.
And the Billy Club is like a grappling hook and
it's the classic Daredevil
Billy Club. And it's a really cool way to introduce it. And more you see Melvin Potter becoming the Gladiator.
Yeah, which is really cool. They're not showing him going crazy.
But constantly you see him holding a buzzsaw. He's got He's actually wearing the costume underneath of his regular clothes.
Yeah, well, in season 1, we see the mannequin wearing the costume. And we see the blueprints for the costume. And now we finally see that he's actually wearing the same material that Daredevil is wearing. My guess is
and there was a big Gladiator poster on the wall this time.
Which is more of a more elaborate sign. I don't think we are going to see him become the Gladiator in the sense that he's going to be a villain.
I don't know. But he's building Stiltman, too. You see Stiltman's body.
So I have a feeling...
And legs.
He's going to be more of... If anything, he'll be more of like a sidekick comic relief character.
I don't think so. I think he's going to become a villain because I think something's going to happen to... Betsy. And he's going to blame Daredevil for not protecting her.
I could see that.
And because it's already clear that Melvin Potter's not mentally stable. So if something happens to Betsy, he'll blame Daredevil
for not saving her,
for not helping them, and he'll stop working with Daredevil and start trying to kill him.
I hope not.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
I hope not.
I'll put money on that.
I don't think that'll happen for another few seasons, though, because we're not even getting a new season for another 2 years.
I mean, I'm saying it'll be in the next season. I think.
I hope not,
because they don't really have. Like, I think Fisk will get out of jail in the next season, and one of the first things Fisk will do is try to convince Melvin Potter to make him things again. Melvin Potter's going to say no, so then Fisk is going to get Betsy killed.
Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, the big thing with this season, the end, is the last 2 episodes are really cool. We get a lot of good fights. We get Daredevil kind of still learning his powers, I would say, kind of.
Using them differently, at least.
I think one of the big things is that, in the last episode, there's this big build-up to what'll happen when this battle's done. And it kind of hints at the fact that Daredevil is done fighting. Matt is done.
Well, he wants to run away with Elektra.
Yeah, he just wants to get away from New York. To leave New York for the dogs, pretty much.
Yeah. But then so it leads to a rooftop fight.
Well, it leads to a fight that ends with them being stuck between a rock and a hard place. They can't go down because they have hand coming up, and they can't quite get on the roof yet because the roof is locked.
They just have to break through it.
Yeah,
they
just don't break through to that's how that episode ends, where you see the hand coming up and they can't open the door.
Yeah, well, that's and then in the last episode, or the last part of that, or the beginning part of that fight is you see a bunch of hand on the roof, and then they get to the fight, and there's 12. There's
yeah. There's not as many as you had seen earlier.
It's it shows 50 hand on that roof, and then they get up and they start fighting, and it's 15.
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Naboo shows up. So Naboo kind of pushes the other ones off because he wants to finish them.
Yeah, it doesn't really make that clear, though, if that's actually what happened. Otherwise, it's just... It reminded me of, a Power Rangers thing, where, you see a bunch of...
You see an army, and then there's three.
Yeah.
So there's this big battle between Daredevil, Electro, Naboo, and the Hand.
Then Punisher shows up, and...
Nope.
While they're... towards the end of that fight... Naboo kills Elektra.
Well, not kills. He goes in to attack Matt.
Yeah, and then
she kind of gets in the way and takes a direct hit.
Dies, so he gets mad, tells the Hand to kill Daredevil, and then when he does that, Punisher picks off.
Yeah, that's when you see the Punisher has a sniper rifle and is across on another building and starts...
He picks off the last, couple hand ninjas.
Starts picking off the Hand, and then that's when you see Daredevil run and push Naboo off.
He does a really cool scene. It was a really cool thing because he throws his billy club one half one way and grabs onto something and like kicks Naboo or something. It was really cool. Naboo lands, gets back up, and as soon as he gets back up, Stick stabs him through the heart and then cuts his head off.
Yeah. And says, "You're going to stay dead this time."
Yeah.
Which implies that he came back to life. To me.
But I mean, the only reason I don't think he died from that other part was because like he falls off the roof and then just gets back up.
Maybe.
Like it didn't even happen. So. But yeah. So then they bury Elektra. Nelson and Murdoch are no more. Because again, Foggy had problems with Matt being Daredevil. Because you're my friend, and why would you do this to yourself?
Well, it's also the fact that he kind of lied.
He lied and he wasn't around, but like Foggy gives him no slack throughout the whole season.
Yeah, and it's kind of that he's covering up for him too.
Like that plot point, the whole Nelson and Murdoch plot point isn't really that.
It's interesting and it's cool and it leads up to something big, which is the breakup of Nelson and Murdoch and Matt not trying to save it like you would hope.
Yeah.
But it's because of that we do get to see of what's going on outside of Hell's Kitchen. We hear about the events in Jessica Jones through Foggy's on-again, off-again girlfriend.
Yeah, she name drops Jessica Jones.
Because she works for the law office
of Hogarth, and then that's where Foggy is offered a job.
As a full-on partner.
Yeah, because people were so impressed with the way he handled
the opening statements and the trial
for Punisher.
Yeah.
And then Elektra's body gets taken
and it's put in this like giant ceramic vase that's implied to have a ton of blood in another one.
And that's the thing that supposedly will bring her back to life.
Right.
And she's in her classic comic book accurate.
Yeah, I didn't like her costume bothered me. I didn't like her costume. Her costume in this constantly made me think of Silk from Spider-Man.
Yeah, a little bit because of the way she wore it.
She covers her face. She's not wearing like the bandana and the face thing. She's just wearing that, and she's wearing black and purple, which are so
black and red.
To me, it looked purple.
I was pretty sure it was red.
Might have been a dark maroon burgundy color, but it looked purple. And black and purple are Silk's colors.
Is it?
I believe so.
I thought Silk was just black and white.
I don't know. I know, but to me that it looked like Silk.
The fact that she covered her face.
She was wearing black and covered her face with a scarf.
It wasn't even a scarf. It was like part of the shirt she was wearing. It almost seemed like it almost looked like her first costume. It was like a turtleneck that she just pulled up.
Very odd. So overall, it's pretty good. I liked it.
I liked it too. I
definitely say that it's worth a watch.
If you watch season 1, watch season 2.
Yeah.
And then
you think it's not as good. I think it's better.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I don't. There was things in it that seemed like the Punisher stuff just seemed more complicated than it needed to be.
I like complicated. So, I think it made it more interesting. Give a little bit more flavor to the character then.
At the very end, did you see the Luke Cage teaser?
No, I did not watch the Luke Cage teaser. I'm trying not to spoil any of that. I know that this fall, around November, December, we're getting Luke Cage. Next March, we're getting Iron Fist, who is going to be played by the guy who plays the Knight of Flowers in Game of Thrones.
Is he the gay knight?
Yes. Yeah, that guy. And then, not this December, but next December, 2017, Defenders. Which is why we will not have a season of Daredevil for 2 years.
Which I'm okay with, because...
Well, we're getting the Defenders.
If they want to slip a season 1 of Punisher in there, that'd be cool, though.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Punisher. I think that we might see Punisher and Luke Cage because we know that they have a team up in the books.
When the Punisher becomes black.
Yeah. My guess is if we see the Punisher again, I'm guessing that we're gonna see another costume. I think it'll be one of two. We're either going to get the one where he wears the face paint and has the skull, like gray skull painted on his face, if they change the costume, or we'll get Nemesis where he wears like the skull, like ballistic mask.
I think he'll look exactly the same. He might be a little bit more like, he might wear like more armor or something like that, but I think his look is going to be more or less the same.
I hope not. I think John, no offense, but is a little short for them to try to pad armor on him. It's the same reason why Jane doesn't have armor in the first movie, because he's too short. You put armor on him, and you got a guy going from looking kind of decent at 5'10" with light armor to being a fucking just a giant square. You know what I mean? He looks too bulky.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the costume's really going to change. It might be a different flat jacket.
Like I said, I think if they change it, they'll change it to where he's wearing tactical paint, or he'll be wearing a ballistic mask.
I hope he doesn't go with a mask.
Or, I'm trying to think if we're going to have the Thunderbolts or the Inhumans by then. If we get the Thunderbolts or the Inhumans, he could wear it. The skull could change to red.
That would be like the only change I could possibly see.
I don't know if they change that. That's too classic.
But I don't think the Thunderbolts are really going to be a thing until they introduce the Red Hulk. If they ever do that. Which I don't think is going to happen, because the guy that they have playing Thunderbolt Ross, I don't think he's ever going to become the Red Hulk.
He could, though.
I mean, he could, but I don't think he's going to.
I will bet that at the end of Civil War, we see the Red Hulk.
You think?
Well, I have a feeling that they're gonna hint at the Red Hulk, because I think, don't get me wrong, I think that the Hulk is supposed to be getting World War Hulk.
I thought that was happening like within Ragnarok, though.
But that would be a reason for him to come back to Earth, is to fight the Red Hulk. Hulk can kill Hulk.
This is true, but I'm just like, I don't know if we're ever actually going to see the Red Hulk or not, because who they have cast as.
Why?
I just don't think he would do it.
Why? But it doesn't matter if he does it. The Hulk is CG.
Yeah, they still need his voice, though.
No. Do you realize that in every previous movie up until Age of Ultron, do you know who has voiced the Hulk?
Just, the guy who does it in the cartoons, right?
Lou Ferrigno. The guy who played the original Hulk.
Has been the voice? I didn't realize that.
Yep. He is.
Well, I thought in the first Avengers, Mark Ruffalo was the voice, too.
Kind of, but they still, on the credits list, Hulk, voice, Lou Ferrigno. I don't know if Age of Ultron has him listed. I haven't looked at Age of Ultron's credits.
Because I thought when Mark Ruffalo became the Hulk, he was doing the voice.
Kind of, yes and no.
In like some parts.
Some parts, yes. But the big thing is that his face, the Hulk's face, is Mark's face.
Yeah, it's like Mark's face turned Hulk.
Yeah. And as long as they pay him to be in the movie, they can use his face.
True. I guess. I mean, they don't have to do that with Red Hulk. They can make his face more generic.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, Red Hulk's mustache disappears.
Mustache.
Yeah, we're not gonna go
anyway, that's the end. Let's wrap this up. We've been going way too long. God damn it, Dylan. We'll be back in a few days or so, I guess, with Batman versus Superman, maybe? Kind of, a little bit. Who knows?
Quick thought on Batman v Superman. Go see it. Form your own opinion.
But, no. Don't do that. That's a terrible idea. People having unique thoughts on the internet, that'll never happen.
You're right. But, so that's Daredevil Season 2. We both liked it. I did like it a lot. I've enjoyed all 3 seasons of Netflix shows.
That is where you're wrong. Jessica Jones, not that great.
Jessica Jones was awesome.
Not that great.
You can sit there and be wrong. So that's going to be the end.
Not that
I've been Dylan. That's been Wyatt. He's an asshole. And I will catch you guys later. Bye.